Hi, lovelies. So, I was just lying here trying to fall asleep, and it made me think about how I talk about how I don't really sleep very often, and kind of joke around and kid around with it about it, but haven't really actually talked about my experience with insomnia. And I thought pretty much the perfect thing to start out with is talking about the longest time that I've gone without sleep. And I just want to put some things out there first. I don't do illegal substances, or take them. I don't even know how to say it. Do them, take them, whatever. And then I also don't even consume caffeine. And I don't take any medications that would make me sleepy, like legal medications. Um, so I know some of my friends that have gone on like coke benders and they've been up for 2 weeks and it's insane, but that's not the case for me. Illegal substances don't really have anything to do with it. But I try not to get like too technical or scientific about it. But um, if your brain is deprived of sleep long enough, it adapts to it, and it actually, how can I say it in a layman's way? It kind of rewires itself to be able to function that way. It's the same thing with pain. Your body is going to try to adapt to it, and it's just kind of a survival instinct. So it's the same thing as if like you are starving, you don't have food to eat, and your body starts to break down the muscles. I mean, we have these things that are set in place that can be defenses for things like that. So my whole entire life since a baby, I've always had trouble sleeping. So it sort of is a genetic thing, and it sort of is a rewiring of my brain. Regardless, um, sleep deprivation is actually something that is used to torture people, and it's done in a lot of foreign countries, in the wars, and to prisoners, and trying to get information out of them and whatnot, and just keeping them awake. Um, and I would like to weigh in on that it absolutely is torture. Um, it's very hard for me to talk about it because I don't know why. It's like I'm very embarrassed about it, but I don't know why. And it's extremely difficult to talk about or explain. So the longest I've gone without sleeping is 7 days. Before that, it was 4 days. And then I've gone regularly 3 to 4 days. That's pretty normal for me. The 7 days was not normal for me. And it was absolutely terrifying. And I just thought I was going to end up in a mental hospital or like a vegetable. You are extremely tired during it. It's not like I was wired, like, oh my gosh, like I have so much caffeine in me, I can't sleep. My body was definitely like sleep, 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 but there's just something that kind of feels like caffeine that is keeping you awake. And I think it has to do with my fibro and my pain, and just my brain firing all the time, keeping me awake. And it's why a lot of people with fibro, they wake up often during the night, and we often don't go into the REM part of sleep, which is the restful, restorative sleep. But I would have been happy with the non-restorative sleep, but it got really, really scary. And the thing that scared me the most is like there's not really anything you can do about it. Like there's not really anything anybody can do about it. And like what do? Go to the hospital and like I can't sleep. Like, who goes up in the hospital and like says that? Um, and then also my other issue is that you could go to your doctor and they will give you Ambien or Lunesta. Um, in extreme cases, like acute episodes of insomnia, they'll give you Seroquel or Trazodone, and most people that knocks them out. I unfortunately have a paradoxical effect with medication, like how do I explain that? Like caffeine makes me tired. Um, like Valium would make me more alert. I'm trying to think of the medications I've had to take. I took a Valium for a dentist appointment one time. But anyways, you get the idea. So like the opposite thing affects me. So when I was given Seroquel, it made me just want to jump out of my skin and absolutely no restful thinking whatsoever. So it's kind of scary. Like, what do you do? Like, I mean, am I gonna like die or sleep? Like, there's only two options here. Obviously you're not gonna die, but whew, during that episode, usually around day 3, I start to lose my my function with reality, really. I Day 4, I start to hallucinate. I see a lot of like in my vision field, I see what I call them bats. Like I see bats, but they're real, like they're black moving things. Little things can set me off. Like in my old room, I had a part of my window that it's not closed off. Like it's like the curtains here, and there's a top part. And I was convinced that the sun was like trying to get me, and I like took all of my fleeces and I like climbed my furniture and covered all of the thing because I just wanted complete black. Like I'm absolutely not myself. And the 7-day stretch is I don't really remember past like 4 or 5 days. That kind of is just like a blank in my memory. I was in bed. I just didn't sleep. It kind of is like you kind of just go into like, I felt like I was in like Alice in Wonderland, and like things were, my room seemed huge to me, and then all of a sudden it felt like claustrophobic, and I was taking off every single bracelet I had and all my rings and throwing everything off my covers, like on my bed, and you just get like this frantic feeling. And luckily I went to sleep at some point because I'm alive. But a lot of people either don't believe me or don't think it's that bad to not sleep for that long. And if you don't want to believe me, that's perfectly fine. That's your whatever. You can think whatever you want. I'm not gonna tell you what to think, but or they think I'm doing like I'm like trying to think of drugs that keep you awake, like meth or coke or speed, like things like that. I've never done hard drugs in my life, so take it or leave it. But yeah, it's a struggle. It's not my hardest symptom, but it kind of should be, because if I'm not sleeping, then it aggravates all the rest of my issues, pain and like all that junk. And I think that's why it's kind of just like a cycle of like my brain stimulating pain and that keeping me awake, and I'm trying to think of some of the other that's the other thing is I have a really hard time speaking. I generally don't talk to people, even my parents, so much. It's difficult for me to eat even. Like the 7-day stretch, like I didn't really eat, and I didn't see my parents very much, and thank goodness, because I can't really talk or listen or keep a stream of thought that actually makes sense, which is like kind of a normal basis for me, but this is like extreme. Um, like sometimes I could be like thinking that I'm talking and I'm not. Like I'm just, it's just happening in my head. Um, so my dad has trouble sleeping, and he does like a lot of sleepwalking type stuff. And my mom has no issues with sleeping whatsoever. But I think that I kind of get that from my dad. I don't think that my brother has issues. So I'm just lucky one that inherited that. Um, but again, like, it's one of those things that I just try so hard to tell. I just want people to know. And I know that even if you've had this issue for 20 years, that it's just as bad, but I feel like it feels very hopeless when you first start having these symptoms, or you first can't sleep, and because of the pain or something like that, and like it can be so scary. But um I mean, I don't know what medications that your doctor's going to find for you, or therapies, or what's going to come in the future, because they're working on stuff. So I don't know what's going to come, but I just know that your body will adapt. Um, I know there were times where I just stopped hating myself so much and hating my body, and I would just kind of crochet at night, and I would just make the time that I was not sleeping more enjoyable for myself, instead of just crying and hating the life of the world and stuff. So because God obviously gives me that time for something, I hope. He'll turn that struggle into something cool. So I just want you to know to like just hang on, and there is hope, and um, you will sleep. You will have days that the pain's not as bad. You will have people that'll bless you in your life, and amazing friendships. Um, you just have to hold out for that hope. And I mean, I could take all those experiences in my life, and that's just like not even the tip of the iceberg. Like that's 7 days no sleep, whatever. And I could totally take those experiences and just hold on to them and just let them weigh me down and be scared all the time, and not live my life. It would pretty much just cripple me. But instead, I just want to reach out to other people and let them know that it will pass, and there is hope, and um, there are better days, that you just have to have faith and courage to stick through it. And we all have struggles, and we all have hardships in our life. And I think what makes a person is what kind of person they are through it. Because we all have struggles, we all have pains, we all have loss, some more than others, but some people might have not as much loss, and they don't cope with it well. So it's kind of how you cope with things and how you experience it, and the bonds that you make with other people, and sharing and bringing something positive out of it. And I just hope that for each and every one of you that is watching this. And thank you so much for the support. I am just so thankful for everybody that subscribes. Please subscribe. I put out videos every day. And I just am trying to be as truthful and honest as I can be throughout this process of 365 days in my life with chronic pain. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That'll also let me know that maybe I should talk more about my experiences with certain aspects of my illnesses. And I hope that this was productive. Please leave comments. I love getting comments and encouragement. And I just really appreciate you guys so much more than you'll probably ever know. Even if we've never talked, like, I appreciate you and I think about you. So thanks, guys, and throw enough X double O's, and I will talk to you tomorrow.